Welcome to the November 11th meeting. I would like to call the meeting to order and ask that you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the regular meeting?
So moved.
I second.
John Christensen.
Yay.
Chris Luca.
Yay.
Kathy Howard.
Aye.
Ann Oach.
Yay.
Motion carried.
Okay. Okay, our first gift items are donations to County High School. Mr. Delka, you have a big list.
Castle.
Thank you for allowing me to address the board tonight. We've had an extraordinary amount of financial generosity gifted to us at Pueblo County High School lately. Certainly, as all our District 70 schools pride ourselves on our commitment to the community and our connection to the community. County High School certainly no different. I have a lot to read, so I'm going to go ahead and present these to you. Just give me just a second. Hopefully I don't miss any here. First, donations to our FFA program at Pueblo County High School. We have $2,000 from Graham and Sandy Badger. We have $1,000 from Two Springs Ranch and $500 from Albert Dionisio. Also, to Pueblo County High School Athletics, we have $5,000 from Colorado Bank and Trust and $5,000 from CNC Disposal. Donations, multiple donations to our Pueblo County High School dance team. $500 from Cave LLC. $500 from Pueblo Trust Company, $1,000 from Thornton Medical, $500 from 3JS Farms and Cattle, $500 from D. Melgoza, $500 from Bonham Construction, $1,000 from Thomas Rustler, $500 from Jidones, another $500 from CNC Disposal, $1,000 from Ted Hernandez, $500 from Spradley Chevrolet, $500 from Veronica Montano, $500 from Mesa Fab Shop, $500 from INT Credit Union, $500 from Security Service Federal Credit Union, $1,000 from William and Velma Allen, $500 from Mark Musso, $500 from Drop Time Construction, and $1,000 from Pueblo Dodge Toyota. Also, donations to our cheer program, $1,500 from Amigo Home Health, $500 from Thrive Medical Spa and Wellness, and $500 from Sonoris. And to our boys basketball program, $1,000 from Siete Incorporated, $500, excuse me, from Soul Granite and Natural Stone, $750 from 5-Star Automation, $900 from America's Best Contractors. Donations to our Youth in Government, You in the Law program, from $500 from McDivitt Law Firm. So we're very grateful for our community support.
Great, thank you. Okay, so our next item is a donation to Vineland Middle School FFA. Mrs. Bustos.
Hi, my name is Stacy Bustos. I'm the advisor for our FFA program and the ag teacher. And we have received a $1,000 donation from Kathy and Don Gomez, and 500 of that came from their granddaughter, Zoe Moore. She is one of our 8th grade students, and she sowed cattle and decided to take $500 of that and donate it to our ag program, which is absolutely amazing. Along with the $1,000 donation from this family, they show up at all of our weekend events and after school events. They bring snacks for our kids. They transport animals. They transport panels. I just want to be, I'm so grateful for all of the help and contributions that this family has made over the last 2.5 years to the ag program.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, our next items are donations to Rye High School. Mr. DeJong.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. In the interest of time, my speech is much shorter than Mr. Dilka's, but it's just as important, I think, usually. So we had a $690.33, which seems like a weird number, the donation from Valley Backpacks. Valley Backpacks is a nonprofit down in the Greenhorn Valley. They are actually dissolving, so they're clearing out their accounts, and this was the amount that they donated to us this year. A lot of it's going to our Sources of Strength program to help kids be included and get some free gear and stuff like that. So just looking out for some of those kids. We also had a $1,200 donation from Power Motive Corporation. That's to the baseball team to help with some equipment. And then there's another $1,000 donation that I'm going to have Mr. Beeman chat about.
Okay, so that $1,000 that was to the Rye High FFA was also from Power Motive and Jay Nielsen. Jay Nielsen's had his kids go through the program. His son is in his sophomore year currently with me. And that $1,000 is donated to buy our Green Hand officer belt buckles, which the Green Hand officers are our freshman officers that shadow our actual chapter officers. And our chapter officers every year do get their officer belt buckle. And Jay last year approached and said that we need to make sure that we're getting belt buckles for the freshmen too, to encourage that participation. And sure enough, we've had a really good increase of applicants and officer activity through those kids. So big thank you to Jay Nielsen for making that happen, because the belt buckles are very nice. So thank you.
Great. Okay, and then our last gift item is a donation to Cedar Ridge Elementary. Mr. Minnies.
Good evening, board members. Thank you. I just want to thank Aaron Denosio for donating $630 to our Hoot Nanny. Our Hoot Nanny is one of our biggest fundraisers that we have, and that helps with our field trips. That helps with school supplies for our kids. So this was really nice to accept this at this time. Thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion to accept the gifts as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
John Christensen.
Yay.
Chris DeLuca.
Yay.
Kathy Helen.
Aye.
Ann Oach.
Yay.
Motion carried, sorry. You have it.
Okay, our next item is our good news item. The first good news item is the PCEA Employee Spotlights. Mrs. Paycheck.
So just a quick reminder that these are nominations from other employees in the district, and they're the PCA Spotlight. So first up, I have LJ Baca, as she's from Vineland Middle School. As the school secretary, LJ is the first friendly face students, staff, and families see when they walk through the doors. Her warmth, patience, and professionalism set the tone for the entire building. She consistently goes above and beyond to make sure every student and colleague feels welcome and supported. LJ's dedication and strong work ethic shine in everything she does. Whether she's managing the front office, assisting staff, or ensuring that the day runs smoothly, she approaches every task with care. She even comes in on Fridays when needed to make sure work gets done right, showing her deep commitment to her school community. LJ exemplifies District 70 and PCEA through her kindness, dedication, and service to others. Her positivity, attention to detail, and genuine care for everyone who enters the building reflect the very best of what it means to be a part of our families. She is truly the heart of her school, keeping things running and making everyone feel at home. I saw her somewhere. Here she is. And then next we have Holly Owens, who is at Pueblo West High School. Holly is an exceptional ESS paraprofessional whose kindness, compassion, and attentiveness shine through in everything she does. She builds strong, caring relationships with students and is always there to offer support, encouragement, and understanding. Her dedication to helping every student succeed makes her a true asset to our school community. Holly's willingness to help in any situation truly sets her apart, whether assisting teachers, stepping in to support students, or lending a hand whenever she's needed. She always does so with a positive attitude and a focus on what's best for her kids. Her calm, caring presence makes a difference every day. She exemplifies both District 70 and PCA through her commitment to students, teamwork, and unwavering dedication to public education. She puts students first in everything she does, modeling the compassion, professionalism, and collaboration that make our schools stronger. Thank you, Holly. Oh, thank you, yes.
Next up, we have our items for district performance awards. Dr. Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, it's always an honor for me to be able to come up here and hand these recognitions to our staff for the incredible work that they do in our buildings every day. Principals and building representatives, when you come up, your banners are over there on the end of that table where Mr. DePietro and Ms. Ryan are, so they will give you those. And Ms. Bonfiglio will give you directions about where you'll be taking your pictures and what steps we'll take. So I will read those off. First, we have District 70 ALA, Ms. Vincent. Cheryl, can you grab two from there? She only needs one because I rolled up her other one.
My other one's rolled up, yeah.
Beulah Middle School, would you like yours? You can get that from Miss Cheryl Vincent out in the hall. Cheryl. Congratulations, Perry, thank you. Cedar Ridge Elementary School. Ms. May. Crever Middle School. Ms. Poole. Liberty Point International School, Mr. Barilla. North Mesa Elementary School, Mr. Howes. Pleasant View Middle School, Mr. Padilla. Prairie Winds Elementary School, Ms. Burrell. Congratulations. Pueblo County High School, Mr. Dilka. Pueblo West High School, I did not see Mr. Baker. I didn't see you walk in. Congratulations. Rye High School, Mr. DeYoung. Sierra Vista Elementary School. Congratulations. Skyview Middle School, Mr. Brill. Swallows Charter Academy and Swallows Charter Academy High School. Connect Charter School. Mr. McNerney. Villabella Expeditionary Middle School, Mr. Gogarty. Vineland Middle School, Ms. Gibbs. Congratulations. And Vineland Elementary School, Ms. Padilla. We have an incredible, hardworking group of staff, dedicated leaders, and families who are committed to our education. And this is just one example and one of the highlights of the things that I get to do. So thank you for the time tonight, ladies and gentlemen of the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we have information from the board and superintendents next, but I am going to go ahead and move on because, and then we'll come back to it since we have Superintendent Ryan out there. Our first discussion item is a presentation of the Rye High School organizations and programs. Mrs. Jarbo.
Hello, and thank you all for allowing us to present today. We are a group of students who represent the career and technical student organizations from Rye High School. We are here to discuss the increasing issue of rooming numbers on school trips.
You just tell me when and not give me a look and I'll switch it.
So one of our problems is the financial burden. If we increase the number of students per bed from 1 to 2, the cost will be cut in half for hotel rooms, decreasing the burden on the parents and the organizations to fundraise. In some cases, families with multiple children attending Rye High School have an increased burden financially. Here is a statement from one of our current Rye High School parents.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Pamela Snyder, and I am the parent of 2 daughters who are both actively involved in several CTO programs. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend this meeting in person due to an illness, but I wanted to share my thoughts regarding the current district policy allowing only 2 students per hotel room during school-related overnight events. As a parent of 2 children who participate in multiple programs, this policy creates a significant financial burden for not only my family, but several others in our school. The cost of travel, meals, and event fees already adds up quickly. Being required to pay for a hotel room for the 2 of them makes it nearly impossible for families like mine to afford. Allowing 4 students per room would make these trips far more cost-effective, opening up opportunities for more students to attend without putting so much financial strain on their families. While I am grateful for my daughters are typically placed together in a room, I also recognize that this limits their ability to form the same friendships and connections that other students gain by rooming with peers from their group. These events are not only about competition or participation, but they are also about growth, teamwork, and creating bonds that last past high school. By revising the policy to allow 4 students per room, the district would be helping families manage costs more easily while also encouraging stronger social development and inclusion among students. Thank you for your time, understanding, and continued support of our students' opportunities. Sincerely, Pamela Snyder. Another problem that we have is the limited participation. Some students cannot participate solely because their parents cannot afford it. If the cost is cut in half, the amount of students participating can increase, which relieves part of the financial burden and allows for more to participate. One of our largest field trips is the National Western Stock Show. As the price increases, the participation will decrease, which will then affect our chapter's funding dramatically. This funding is used to support our chapter's teams as they make it to regionals and state. We have had 3 teams win state and compete at nationals, so this funding is very crucial.
I would like to speak on the last slide, actually. So the trip that we take with our FFA program, no, I'm so sorry, the previous slide. Yes.
This one?
That one works, yeah. So the trip that we take to National Western Stock Show, we go on with our FFA program, and we normally, or with the current cost of 4 students in a room, that's 44 students normally is what we take on that trip, and that brings it to 22 rooms, being at about $150 per room. This is going to be $3,300 before chaperones. Our proposed idea would bring it to 4 students in a room, which will be about 11 rooms, bring it to $1,650. We will be able to save this money and reinvest into our competitions and opportunities. Thank you.
Okay, so we've had those previous issues, but another problem we face is the accountability aspect. Along with these financial burdens, say we did have 2 students in a room and they got into some sort of altercation, let's say a fight, and we are trying to figure out what happened afterwards. With 2 students, it's one person's word against another, while having 3 or preferably 4 students would allow them to have a witness to the situation so that we're accurately able to tell what took place.
All right, so our proposed solution is actually a waiver. So what this would be is it would be per school. We would put out this waiver and then the school will actually be able to decide if they want to use it. It will have, we can make it up, but it will be for parents and students to sign, allowing 4 same gender students per room. This will be designed for CTSO trips to maximize participation. This will also state the chaperones will be present and there will be clear guidelines. And the waiver, like I said, will be optional per school and per program.
So we gathered some statements from parents and or teachers in our community regarding the rooming situation. And we received a statement from our former TSA advisor, Casey Anglin, and her statement is, I have taken students to TSA State for over 8 years, and we have never had an issue with having more than 2 people in a room. We have blow-up mattresses available and can also get roll-away beds if needed, which is why we have never had a concern about rooming capacity. I would also like to note that only 2 people in a room can sometimes create problems. If one person becomes upset with the other, it ends up being one person's word against the other, without no neutral party to mediate. Allowing more than 2 students in a room, if they choose, can actually be beneficial. It not only helps reduce the overall cost of hotel rooms, but also gives students a better opportunity to enjoy the trip and support each other if any issues arise. We also received another statement from one of our Rye High School Student Council advisors and a math teacher, Anna Snarich. Her statement is, there are many things that concern me with only allowing 2 students per room. The first being that it is simply not enough funding. With the hotel cost arising, this policy excludes economically disadvantaged students from opportunities because programs will have to rise student costs to go on the trips. Yes, there are some programs that allow students to apply for sponsorships, but those fundings will be drained at a faster rate due to this policy. Another issue I have as an adult sponsor for overnight student trips is a problem of he said, she said situations that arise with only 2 students in a room. If something happened in that room, the sponsor has no way of telling which student is telling the truth without witnesses.
This concludes our presentation. We'd like to ask if anyone has any questions. Please go ahead.
I always have questions. So do you see this as getting like 2 queen-size beds, or somebody mentioned mattresses? How do you see this working?
Yeah, so our idea actually is getting the rooms that have 2 queen-size beds in them. And then this will lead us to having 4 students in the room instead of only 2, where normally we get 2 queen-size beds, but there can only be 1 student per bed. But I don't know who mentioned it, but another option we might have is in that waiver, we might bring up the fact that if the parents would like their kids to not be sharing a bed, we can bring in air mattresses, or some hotels even offer cots.
Right.
And I would suspect that if a parent just simply wants fewer to a room, that they can provide the extra funding
Yes.
for the extra room or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Are there any other questions?
How do you choose who gets the cot? I would not enjoy the cot.
Well, some of the rooms have a couch as well.
That's true, yes.
Rollaways still,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
All right, I would like to bring Mr. Beeman up. He would like to say a few words.
Okay,
Great job, guys.
Yeah, good job.
yes.
Evening, board. First things first, I do want to say that I'm very impressed with these guys. They are all my students, but they're not just representing FFA. That's why they're not in official dress. They are TSA members. They are members of FBLA, all of these organizations. So I'm very proud of them. And I'm very proud that they chose to wear professional clothes as opposed to a FFA official dress, because they are representing so much. So with that being said, I want to make it abundantly clear that I had absolutely nothing to do with this presentation. These guys were told that their trip to TSA was going to cost about $600 a kid to go for their 2 nights at the Gaylord up in Denver, and to represent Rye High School. And they came to me and they said, what are we going to do about this? I said, I don't know what you're going to do about that, because you're the ones that are going to do something. A little bit history of the FFA for you, those of you that don't know. The FFA is a fully student-run organization. It is not run by me. It's run by the students. However, legally, it is a requirement of my program through Public Law 740 that was passed in 1950. It is an integral part. We are not extracurricular like sports. We are intracurricular. If I don't do it, our funding doesn't happen. So, I have been very fortunate through the support of our community over the years that for any time I've had a kid represent us, whether it be at the national, state, or local level, I have never charged those kids to go on those trips. Because our community is that awesome. However, if our costs go up drastically, our community that's so small and being pulled in every which way is not going to be able to help us. And these kids are not going to have the opportunities that they do through a community like ours that we're so lucky for. Once again, I think they did a phenomenal job. They laid it out. But I do want to tell you a true story. And I'm going to leave out a lot of the details because it is a horrible story. And these guys have never heard this story. But because I wouldn't tell this to a student ever. But when I was in college, in our methods of teaching agriculture education class at CSU Fort Collins, we had an ag teacher come in. Not going to say where he was from, but we were discussing hotel rooms because we're in hotels all the time. And he said how you never put 2 kids in a room. Not that you shouldn't. He said you never do. He said you should rather put 1 kid in a room before you put 2 in a room. And he laid out a story of where his students were on an FFA trip. And one of them woke up. There were 2 boys in a room. One of those boys woke up being grotesquely sexually assaulted. And that kid, rightfully so, hit the kid, threw him off of him, and went to the ag teacher. Well, the only kid that got in trouble with that whole situation was the kid that was being sexually assaulted because the other kid had the marks of being hit to get him off of him. So not only was that kid shunned by the adults and had no support from the uppers, he has to live the rest of his life knowing that he was sexually assaulted and nobody had his back. So I am very, very completely against putting 2 kids in a room, let alone being a mandate. So I really appreciate what these guys said. I think that waiver is a great idea. That way it's not trying to change a rule, but it's giving an opportunity, especially to keep our organizations going, but also to give us that little bit of coverage, because he said, or as she said is a terrible situation to put these kids in. So I appreciate you all listening to these guys. I appreciate y'all. You did a great job. I am going to ask, if you don't have any more questions, that we let these guys get back to Rye. They have a long drive home at night. But I appreciate you all listening to them. And great job.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we'll go back. Superintendent Ryan, are you? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our first quarter financials presentation by Mr. Wagner.
Everybody leaves as soon as I get up.
Don't make us fall asleep.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Board. I think you have a packet in front of you. There's a lot of information in there, so I won't go through, line by line, word for word, but there's a couple of things I'd like to point out, and if you have questions, feel free anytime to throw them out. You can go to, oh, it's fun. All the students say
Yeah.
that's amazing to see that they great job. So this page, if you look, a couple things. So obviously, being the first quarter, these columns are going to be the same because there's only year to date, and first quarter will be the same. with school finance, a lot of the timing issues make it look funky at times just because they get 9 payments a year versus 12 payments a year. So there may be some things that look like it's a loss, but it's not. But I mean, we're doing really well right now. So the one thing I wanted to point out that kind of sticks out on this page is on the right column, it says annual budget, like the 4 column from the right. Income loss, it's 2.7 million. Loss, that is for the county best grant, our match, our side of our match. So that's why the annual budget is expenses more than revenues. That's coming out of fund balance. So we agreed to that when we took out the best grant, that we would use that 2.7 million for the best grant. So that's why, if you have a question of why isn't our budget balanced, that's why. That's general fund. Any questions on that? The next few pages are just graphs. You can look at those at your leisure. If you go to the insurance reserves page, our insurance is paid at the beginning of the year in July. That's why there's a negative income loss so far, but over the year that'll be refunded or replenished. We also are looking at doing an RFP for a new property and loss and workman's comp broker, kind of like we did with health insurance. We're going to put out an RFP here in the next month just to see what's out there, making sure we're getting the best deal for our property and loss and workman's comp insurance. So that'll be coming soon. Preschool fund is the next page. That's doing really well. We bought playgrounds a month or so ago, and that balance is doing really well. So they're doing a great job managing that fund. Let's see. Go to food services, please. And I did ask Mr. Axworthy to come give you a little update on our food services. He has a lot going on, so he gave you a separate packet. So I'll let you take over.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. So I was asked to shed a little bit of light on how LL and MM has affected our our nutrition services department. Basically, we are about 44% free and reduced as a district, so more than half of our students would fall under the paid category if the LL and MM ballot measures had not passed, which means more than half the students would be having to pay for a meal. What Healthy School Meals for All, what the program does is it provides not just free meals, but it provides the nutrition services department the free amount or free allocation for every single meal. So we get $4.69 for every lunch. We get approximately $2.94 for every breakfast. We make approximately $40,000 a day with the meals that we serve. Had LL and MM not passed, the Healthy School Meals for All program would have been dissolved as of January of this school year. And our revenue per meal would fall from roughly $2.94 for every breakfast down to $1.98, and $4.69 for every lunch down to about $3.60 because of that pay differential that we would have to charge parents. We obviously wouldn't charge parents $4.69 for every lunch that we would serve. We would charge them a lesser price, and that would lower our revenue per meal. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's helped our program sustain itself. We have a good, positive fund balance that we will maintain for emergencies, and any revenue generated beyond that fund balance is reinvested into our program. We have some projects that we have budgeted for this school year. One is to develop a Pueblo West High coffee shop for the students to offer another area of service for those students. It would actually be built in the media center. That comes out to almost $300,000. We have a walk-in refrigerator and renovation for the freezer and refrigerator at County High School. That's approximately $60,000. We're continuing to produce murals and revitalize the cafeterias in all of our schools in the district. We've done some over the last few years. We're hoping to finish all those this year. So those are all funds that we're able to spend and utilized because of the excess revenue from the Healthy School Meals for All program. If you look at our financial synopsis brief, and you break out the expenses for every meal, or expenses for our program, about 46% of our expenses are food cost, 32 to 33% are labor cost. Then you have supplies, equipments, and other costs. And any profit, like I mentioned before, any profit is reinvested into the program. Katrina?
Yeah.
You guys have any questions?
I kind of have a question on the food that's going to be provided. Have you seen an increase in the healthy meals, or is it kind of the same that it's been over the past year or two?
So it's a good question. So what we serve in our schools currently is whole muscle chicken products. We serve whole muscle beef products. We buy in top round whole muscle meats, and we braise those overnight and make barbacoa, pot roast. We do, all of our chicken products are similar to Chick-fil-A, so it's whole muscle chicken breasts, chicken bites, not chicken nuggets, not that highly processed stuff filled with a bunch of binder. We were joking around earlier today. I could probably put breaded chicken on the menu every day and the kids would love it. But we try to offer different things and broaden their palate a little bit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We did chicken tacos with pineapple salsa. Didn't go as well as I thought it would.
It didn't right. Keep it right.
But we have menu items that run about 30% food cost, and we have menu items that can run as high as 70% food cost. And what I do is I balance our menu mix in order to meet our budget.
The budget, okay.
Yeah. So I'd love to take you out to lunch and show you what we do day to day, if you have any questions about our food quality.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. The last one I want to just go through quickly is the Student Athletic Fund. It's like 2 pages back. A couple things I want to point out. Is that it? So on again, the fourth from right column, annual budget. A lot of people ask like how our athletics teams are funded. So if you look at that, the $697,350, that is our fees and our gate from games. So the fees that students pay to play, basically, and the gate from the games, that's a $697,000. The $1.5 million is a transfer from the general fund. So that's the amount that the district puts into our athletic fund to help balance all the coaches' salaries and busing and everything else that comes out of it. So that's where the 2.197 million is where that comes from. Okay. Any questions on any of that? Like I said, there's a ton of information, so if you see something this evening or whatever and have other questions, please reach out. Our audit is finished. It went really well. Actually, our charter schools, our Villa Bella's done this week. We already uploaded our data pipelines. Like, I know last year, a couple years ago, we had to get an extension, and it was a kind of a mess. This year, it's been super smooth, so thanks to charters for getting their stuff done, and everything's going really well. So.
Yeah, it might take some time for us to digest this.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, there's a lot. So, let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and, since we have the superintendent here, we'll go ahead and go back to the information from the board and superintendents. Let's go ahead and start with John this evening.
I just gotta say, this is my last official meeting, and it's been a pleasure working with y'all, a pleasure serving y'all out there, and I just wish I could say it again next month, but I wish the new upcoming members the best of luck, and we'll be nice to them.
Chris? Nothing?
Ditto. So this will be, I wrote something, we'll see if I can get through it. So, first I want to thank everyone, our staff, teachers, families, community leaders, and my fellow board members for the opportunity to serve It has truly been an honor to work alongside so many dedicated individuals who deeply care about our students. Together, we've achieved some incredible milestones, strengthened student safety measures to ensure every child feels secure in our schools, expanded career readiness and vocational training opportunities, giving students real pathways to success after graduation. We supported our teachers with resources and initiatives aimed at retention and professional growth, maintained fiscal responsibility while investing in programs that matter most. We deepened our community engagement, making sure voices from across the district were heard and valued. Being a board member is so much more than attending monthly meetings. It's about being present in the community, listening, and serving on other boards and committees representing District 70 with the same pride and priority we bring to this table. As I step away, my hope is that this board continues to fight for what truly matters, our district, its kids. Let's keep the focus on education and student success, not on political agendas. Our children deserve nothing less. I'll leave you with this thought from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Let's never forget the impact we have on shaping futures. Thank you again for allowing me to serve. I'm proud of what we accomplished, and I look forward to seeing this district continue to thrive.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Kathy?
Well, I didn't write anything out because I thought maybe I'd say something next week, but I guess I won't.
You can say both, yeah.
First off, I wore the sweatshirt in honor of Mr. Dilka because his band won the state championship. And I went up to him and talked to him before because we've been goofing with each other whether I was going to wear the sweatshirt or not. And I said, I promise I'm going to wear it. And so I'm very proud of and they didn't get the recognition before that the state band that their band won the state championship, which I think is awesome. This has been an exceptional learning experience for me. I thought I was too old to learn anything new, but you always learn new stuff. I've met some absolutely wonderful, wonderful people and had the opportunity, I hope, to change some things for the better. And I'd like to continue even after I'm off the board because schools always need the help. And I've tried to push that and everywhere I go, the parents need to show up and read to kids. Reading is my passion, and I still believe that when kids learn to read young enough, they will succeed later in life. And that's so critical. I was so pleased with Ms. Skrjanek and her class and seeing those kids like double their reading scores like in a month, right? I mean, that was absolutely amazing, and she's an absolutely wonderful teacher, and my dear friend, we did a lot together, didn't we? And it was a lot of fun.
It was. We appreciate your passion for our school.
Yes, I have a lot of passion for that school, and the Learning Academy is more than just a place to dump kids that are not quite cutting it otherwhere. It's a place where students are allowed to grow and evolve at their own pace. And some like really exceed exponentially than in a big environment. Smaller schools are very, very, very important. And I think that Cheryl has done a phenomenal job with the responsibility she's been given for 2 schools. So, I've loved every minute. There are parts I'm going to tear my hair out. I've been back and forth. I wanted to cry. I wanted to laugh. Parts of it have been so much fun. Other parts not so much fun. And it's just like, it is what it is. And 4 years went like that. It really did. And I just thank you all for allowing me to be a part of it.
Thank you. Superintendent Ryan?
Well, first of all, thank you, John, for serving and representing the Rye community. We appreciate that. And I appreciate all of your common sense that you've brought to this table, and I just thank you for serving. And Chris, you've done an amazing job helping our district to be represented throughout Pueblo, and as well as obtaining things for our kids, like the pickleball courts. And so, thank you, and we appreciate you, and thank you for always being a wonderful listening ear. And Kathy, thank you for serving the Pueblo West community and always remembering our kids and those kids who are less fortunate and need help. And I always know that your heart is with our kids and that you are serving our children, so thank you. We appreciate you. That being said, we will miss you all. The last meeting since then, we've had a lot going on. We had Halloween, which was a real good time. I love it. You're right, we won a state championship at Pueblo County High School, and the Space Cowboys, they did an amazing job in their performance. I watched their performance, their last performance on Thursday, and it was amazing. And then today, we celebrated our veterans, and Pueblo County High did an amazing job also of celebrating our veterans in a very heartfelt remembrance of those who've served our country. So we do great things with kids, and those kids are the ones who do all of this. They do such a great job. We love our kids are amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I want to echo what Ms. Ryan said. John, Chris, Kathy, thank you for your service the last 4 years and helping us guide and lead the district in a positive direction. I've been an administrator, worked in this district a very long time, worked alongside a lot of individuals, and so I've enjoyed my time working with you three, and again, thank you very much, and I wish you well as you go on to your next endeavor. I think Mrs. Vincent will have some things for you to do, Kathy, so you don't worry about it. She'll keep you busy if you want to. Along that, Mr. DeYoung, a fifth place band finish?
Fourth place for Ryan,
place.
their third year back.
So, wrapping up fall sports seasons. So again, the band from County Championship, Rise Band, we've had several schools advance into the districts or state rounds to volleyball, very good volleyball matches. I caught both schools playing, County and West playing this past weekend, and I know Rye had games as well that went down to the wire, and so we still have 2 football teams playing. Rye had a hard game this last weekend against, it was a Ray, but again, going from a 3-win season, I think, to a 6 or 7-win season was a good accomplishment, and of course we still have West and County advancing, and they'll both be playing on Friday, so wish them well, and just congratulate all of our fall teams and activities for representing the district in a positive and great way. So.
Absolutely. Just to kind of back on that, we also had Swallows. It was in 2A regional volleyball in Holyoke. So my daughter plays, so I was there this weekend, and they did a great job. But some of those teams are tough, especially the small town teams.
They play to win, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I just want to thank our outgoing board members for their service. I don't want to get emotional. It's been a great 4 years, and to get to know you and work with you, and I just am so thankful for your dedication and time. It's been great. Like she said, it's been tough, hard on us, emotional, but we always could work together, and we always found a way. And I just want to thank you for that. So I don't want to be too emotional because we have new board members coming on, and they're welcome as well. AJ and I are still going to be here. And I just want to also thank our veterans because it is Veterans Day. And I think that's it for me. So
Thanks,
sorry.
Ann. Thanks, Ann.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll move on to the, I guess, boring stuff you should say. So our next one is a presentation of revisions to policy ACR-3. Mr. DePietro.
Boring, this is Title IX stuff. There's nothing boring about Title IX. So the revision to policy AC-3-R is, it's due to the FBI has changed their Uniform Criminal Code book this year, and what that means is that's basically what law enforcement goes off of how they categorize crimes and where they fit. And under sexual assault, they've made a change, and so we did have to adjust our policy. Before, they had forceful fondling as part of sexual assault in their code. They removed that and they replaced that with sexual contact, and then you can read what they go into as far as what can constitute sexual contact. And so because of that change in that book and code, we just had to update our documents. So this policy's been updated to reflect that change, and then our handbook as well that we use and our administrators use to guide us through the procedures has been updated as well. So that's the only change in regards to this policy.
Okay. You can move on.
And then I believe our next one is JRA-JRC, and that's just student release of records and release of information. I won't go through all this because a lot of it is that the grammatical corrections or updates, so a lot of changing letters, capital, changing the words to capital letters on all the headings, changing some colons to semicolons, some shalls to must or shalls to wills, replacing like school with district, several of those type things in there. Just one addition to note, or a couple additions to note, on page 2 we did add the request to amend a student record must be made in accordance with this with the regulation accompanying this policy. We do already have that. We'd already have a policy in place, but that's just added to that to say if you want to amend a record, you have to go through the proper process. And then the other significant change, and not very significant, but just one to note is on page, I think it's 5, where you get into disclosure of directory information, it talks about prior, you could include an email address and a date and place of birth when you're sharing that directory information. And this now changes, and it eliminates email address and it eliminates date and place of birth. And so those are two things that would not be shared in a directory. So those are the major changes in that policy.
What, remind me again, what is included in that then?
So it
Just
talks about things like field of study, photographs, of course, like
Okay.
we share things like that. Could be like height, weight, like in an athletic program, things like that, or like programs that we might be distributing for different events. So those types of things would be considered like a directory. We're handing that out to the public, and so technically it has to fall within this policy. So like a football roster has a name, might have a weight, might have something like that. So honors, awards, anything like that, those would all be considered in there, and that whole paragraph just talks about what is considered like a directory information. Again, this would be information that doesn't fall under like FERPA or HIPAA or any of those things that we couldn't share without permission from.
Okay.
And we always have if they don't want their photograph included, parents, when they do their InfoSnap enrollment and their update, can check off that they don't want like their child's photograph of that type of stuff included in things like that.
Okay.
Any other questions on that one? And then I gotta look on my phone because I forgot to print it out. So on KLG, relations with state agencies, again, one change to that. And in that first paragraph, it talks about both state and federal agencies. So that does add that to that policy, just in regards to how districts may work with different agencies within the governments. And so
Okay.
that's the only change on that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next up we have some presentations from Mrs. Russell. The first one is a presentation of the paraprofessional route driver job description.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. This is a sort of a new job description in the fact that occasionally we do have a need for a route driver to drive routes in the morning, in the midday, and end of day. And that in-between time, then they're assigned as a paraprofessional at one of our schools. And so in order to post a job that is very transparent about the route driver expectations and qualifications, as well as the paraprofessional job description and expectations, we felt that it would be important to have that specific job description if it's not a parapro or a route driver, but one that would combine both. So nothing new in those, just we've combined them so it makes it a new job description.
Okay. Go on to the next one.
The Colorado minimum wage will increase 2.36% on January 1st, 2026. So we would propose that we increase our minimum wage salaries from $14.81 to $15.16 an hour, and that includes our classified substitute rates. The rest of our positions are over that $15.16 per hour, so those are all listed there on that recommendation. And that would be effective January 1st if the board so approves. The next one is, the next three are really language cleanup in our negotiated agreement. So the first one is in regards to horizontal movement. For our classified and our certified staff, we just aligned that language because our practice is we have the same dates and same expectations for those two classifications. And we also aligned the language with the effective dates for those salary increases to align with our new August to July contracts that we've had for a year. The next one is language cleanup on classified evaluations, and that does align the language with the 3-year evaluation cycle that we do have for classified employees, and so we needed to change that language if an employee is not on that 3-year evaluation cycle, how an administrator or supervisor could then notify them that they would be evaluated off-cycle. And the last piece for is an MOU. We currently, our current calendar did change literacy testing days, although we have language in our negotiated agreement. So this MOU outlines that for this year we will adhere to what we've agreed to those 2 half days for literacy days, but we will spend this year gathering some input and additional information and data, and we will make decisions regarding literacy testing days for future calendars.
Okay.
Any questions?
We're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have open forum. Do we have any comments this evening?
No, ma'am, we don't.
Okay. You got off the hook.
Yeah, I know.
All right, our first action item is approval of revisions to policy AC-R-3. Mr. DePietro?
It is my recommendation that the board approve revisions to AC-R-3 as presented.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the revisions?
So moved.
A second.
John Christensen?
Yay.
Krista Luca?
Yay.
Kathy Howland?
Aye.
Ann Oach?
Yay.
Motion carried.
Okay, next is approval of the revisions to policy JR-JRC, or excuse me, JRA-JRC. Mr. DePietro?
Again, so it is my recommendation that the board approve policy JRA-JRC as presented.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the revisions?
So moved.
A second.
John Christensen?
Yay.
Krista Luca?
Yay.
Kathy Howland?
Aye.
Ann Oach?
Yay.
Motion carried.
Okay, and our last action item is approval of the revisions to policy KLG.
It is my recommendation that the board approve the revisions to policy KLG as presented.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve those revisions?
So moved.
A second.
John Christensen?
Yay.
Krista Luca?
Yay.
Kathy Howland?
Aye.
Ann Oach?
Yay.
Motion carried.
Okay, next is our consent agenda items. Do I have a motion to approve these items?
So moved.
I second.
You got me backwards. John Christensen?
Yay.
Krista Luca?
Yay.
Kathy Howland?
Aye.
Ann Oach?
Yay.
Motion carried.
Okay, the next board meeting is scheduled Tuesday, December 9th, 2025 at the Educational Services Center, beginning at 6 p.m. Our regular meeting is now adjourned.
Can't let you go out easy.
Thank you.